Hogwarts Legacy is getting closer and closer. It's a game we're quite excited for, as we can finally take off from platform 9 3/4 into our very own experience as a student at the best magical school in the wizarding world. Well, recently we got some actual hands-on time playing a preview version of the game, and as such we have a whole bunch of brand new gameplay to share with you guys, as well as the things that we learnt and found out from the game to share and talk about with all of you. When it comes to choosing a common room, I personally think I'm going to go for Gryffindor, at least for my first playthrough. But what house are you planning to pick for your first run, and do you think you'll choose a different one for your second playthrough at a later date? Tell me in the comments down below. And make sure to click like and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next update from us here on the channel for all things Hogwarts Legacy. We do have a lot of things to talk about, from open world gameplay to inside Hogwarts and even a mission itself. Honestly, from the flow of flying around the grounds of Hogwarts to seeing all the beautiful scenery in the distance and just walking around while hearing people talk to one another about all manner of random but interesting things, the world just feels very alive and gorgeous to look at. This is a game that I think will have a high level of immersion, especially as you start to progress into the game more and more, unlocking new things that makes you feel unique or special. Remember, the Room of Requirement even has a ton of customization, and as such, I think if you plan to dive deep into the decoration aspect of it, it's highly likely that your stay in Hogwarts will end up looking visually quite different from someone else's. On top of this, the music overall, as well as the visuals of the magic, is just so warm and spectacular. It feels like we have a lot of freedom in terms of walking around, flying around, and exploring, which is something I love in these kind of games. But enough of my initial impressions, let's talk about some juicy gameplay details. Firstly, we had access to the character creator to make our very own wizard, and so we can take a closer look at the options available to us. We'll have a full video going over all of these options in more detail, but for this one I wanted to recap and highlight a couple things that I spotted. Firstly is the amount of presets that we can choose from and how each one is pretty different and unique. From this alone, it was looking like we should easily be able to make a character pretty close to ourselves if that's your goal. After this, you have 15 different face shapes to choose from, including a skin color slider and 3 glasses options. But we do know that you will unlock more glasses as you play through the game. After this, you have a bunch of hairstyle options. My count was 50 in total, as well as a hair color slider as well. After that, you then have a complexion and freckles or mole slider with 10 scar options to choose from if you want to make your witch or wizard stand out. Then onto the eyes, you'll have a slider for both eye and eyebrow color with 20 different eyebrow styles to choose from. Finally, you can pick your voice tone as well as pitch it to your liking, while also choosing your difficulty, first and last name, and then which dormitory you want to be in with the witches or the wizards. So overall, there's a ton of depth when it comes to making your wizard your own, but there's no way to adjust height or body type that I saw, which is a bit of a letdown. But for facial customization, I'm very happy. I just wish there was a bit more for your overall body. But now onto some gameplay specifics. Firstly, the collectibles. You can expect to use charms like Revelio quite a lot if you plan to collect and uncover concealed objects, messages, invisible things, and even passages in the game. This is a handy charm that I think people are going to be able to find a ton of unique and hidden surprises all over Hogwarts. When it comes to flying though, it seems like you have quite a lot of freedom. You can go around the towers and spires of Hogwarts, so if you've seen something in the school that you wanted to take a closer look at, well, in the game it seems like you actually can. But we'll need to find out more on this later. We also found this creepy chest with a giant eyeball on it, kind of like Mad Eye Moody, but even bigger. We couldn't open it just yet, so it's likely these are something you're going to have to come back to later on in the story. Of course, we already know about the Floo Flames. These will unlock as you travel around different areas. They're kind of like fast travel points, so if you find one, you can easily come back to that spot later on. Another amazing thing is how interactive the things in the world actually are. For example, this mermaid fountain can be animated by interacting with it. Although it didn't give you anything, it's just amazing how much little details you can find and interact with, and it really helps bring the overall world to life. We did find it quite easy to get lost in the Hogwarts castle, with many doorways leading to different classes or rooms. It's definitely going to be something that you have to learn the layout of as you play more and more. We do already know about flying pages as a sort of collectible, and we did spot a few of them. So you're definitely going to have to keep your eyes peeled if you want to find all of these. While exploring, you'll likely find some chests that have loot in them. We found a Wiggenweld potion in one of them, which was a pretty good find since these are basically the health potions of the game. So keeping an eye out for chests is probably going to be worth our while. One amazing detail I wanted to highlight is the paintings in the castle. Just like in the Wizarding World, these are animated as if they're alive. It's so surreal seeing the paintings move, but I love this attention to detail. On top of this, you can expect to see the spirits and ghosts of certain characters flying around, which just adds a little more flavour to it. A great thing to know is that some collectibles will even give you XP. This cool goblet with a dragon on it requires an incendio charm to ignite and will give up a page to collect that grants you some extra XP, so these collectibles might just be worth our while. When it comes to the combat though, we already knew quite a lot about this going in, but we can say that there's definitely a whole bunch of crazy combos you can sling out. It definitely took a little getting used to, but once it clicks for you, we think the combat is going to be pretty exciting. There is a learning curve, but I think all good games have a learning curve of some kind, and it makes it all the more rewarding when you finally figure it out, so you can start slinging spells to take down enemies in style. When it comes to missions though, we didn't get to do too many of them, but what I will say is that the dialogue and voice acting seemed pretty decent so far, and encountering a centaur was definitely a cool highlight, so you can expect to see those in-game. While running through the world, everything looks pretty stunning, especially when the sun shines through the trees. But more importantly, it's the little details and things that make the world come to life, such as this dug bog attacking a random deer and dragging it into the water as you go past. Another cool thing I wasn't expecting is mini-games to be in there, such as this lock-picking task where we can actually free a dragon egg. So overall, there's a bunch of things to find and explore and all kinds of details hidden throughout. So I hope you guys enjoyed this recap from us, and make sure to stay subscribed and check out on the channel for other Hogwarts Legacy videos because we have lots more for you in the works. And the two videos on screen now we think you'll really enjoy if you did enjoy this one. Of course you don't have to if you don't want to, but if you did find this video interesting or helpful, you're probably going to like these too. Make sure to tell us what you think though after watching in the comments down below.